Dennis Greaves, creator of Nine Below
How
Zero.
about that? Yes. Okay.
Mark Feltham, creator of Punk Blues Harmonica, Nine Below Zero. Welcome.
Thanks, Jet. Thank you.
Before Nine Below Zero, there was Stan's Blues Band back in the 70s, and before that there were a few other bands, and before that there was a 9-year-old with his uncle's blues collection. Can you take us back to what you first heard of the blues?
Yes, I had slightly, obviously, 2 older uncles, and everyone at school, I think, was listening to the pop stuff at the time, you know, and just didn't do anything for me. And rummaging through their records, and there was, I think, Albert King and Freddie King, John Mayall's Blues Breakers, and instantly heard that and changed my life.
Do you remember any particular track of John Mayall that you particularly liked?
Yeah, Sonny Boy Blow,
Right.
which was a later fan. Because obviously, you know, a lot of that was white guys playing it. You know,
Right.
It wasn't until I really sort of checked it out, you know, that John Mayall was influenced by Sonny Boy Williamson and all those greats, you know.
Yeah.
And Eric Clapton was influenced by Freddie King, and then you just go back, and it was just a great experience.
And was this, you as a 9-year-old, was this about the late 60s?
Yeah, I was, I would have been, 67, yeah,
Right.
60,
So that was
68.
the full-blown British blues.
That was when it
going
was
with
really, absolutely, they were going to the marquee and seeing, you know, Eric Clapton play with John Mayall, then next week there was Peter Green,
Yeah.
and then, you know, Mick Taylor playing with them, and, you know, Little Walter playing the 100 Club, and Muddy Waters playing, you know, around. That was when it was all happening, you know.
Right. And the John Mayall track, harmonica track, was it?
Yeah,
that
Sonny
really
Boy Blow. I
inspired
think it was
you?
about Sonny Boy Williamson. Yeah, I just loved everything about. I fell in love with the harmonica as much as I did with the guitar sound. You know, it was just that whole thing.
And Mark Feltham, around that time, what were you listening to? What were you into?
Mostly country music and music from Nashville session musicians. I come up the other route from Dennis. I come up the country music route. Bands like Barefoot, Jerry, Commander Cody, and that sort of thing. And then all the Nashville session players, Charlie McCoy
Right.
and Norton Buffalo, those type of guys. And then that led into Junior Wells and Snooky Pryor, Homesick James,
Mm.
Right.
and all those guys. But country music's my real love.
And this was again during the 60s, the late 60s you were in?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Right. And then suddenly the blues boom just went
Mm.
as quickly as it came.
Yeah.
It went.
Mm.
Yeah.
And in the 70s, that would have been when you were at the age where you want to get yourself started in bands yourself.
Yeah, and then punk happened.
And then punk happened.
Yeah, when I decided to form a blues band, punk was just starting to happen. But you know, I remember like lads at school, you know, in the desert boots and the long flared jeans. And next week they're coming in bin bags and spiky haircuts, you know. And I didn't fancy that at all. So I looked at my dad's old 60s wardrobe and started dressing up what was then like the second generation of the mod thing, you know, but I didn't know, you know, I just got my dad's old suits out and his shirts, and I thought, oh, that's more, yeah, that's more for me, you know, I don't like this punk thing. But when we started playing together, the punk thing was in the energy of what we were doing, although we were playing Chicago blues, you know, so that fusion was,
Yeah.
you know, which was good. We didn't know then, we were only 19, 20. So, you know.
And as Stan's Blues Band, what kind of London venues were you playing at first?
Well,
Open Anchor.
the one opposite my school, Thomas à Becket in the Old Kent Road.
Oh, that's right.
They give us the break,
Yeah.
the Thomas à Becket and the Apples and Pears, which is gone now in Bermondsey. But we started there.
Mostly pubs.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we
Local,
crossed
you know.
over North London.
Yeah.
Across the
And
river.
yeah, that was the big break to get on the north side of the Thames.
Dingwalls. Yeah.
And some of those were punk pubs, were they?
Yeah.
Everything was
But everything. I mean,
going,
Elvis Costello was playing, and
Yeah.
Red Beans and Rice, the Inmates,
That's
Dr.
right.
Feelgood. You know,
Yeah.
it was.
Right.
Yeah.
And your band, Stan's Blues Band, who thought of that name?
I have to take blame for that. No one was called Stan though. It was just a silly thing to do.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, we soon got rid of that.
In the era of punk,
It's a terrible
to be
name.
called a blues
Yes.
band, wasn't that quite kind of daring?
Well, you say that, but everything was mainly accepted. If it was live and in your face, it was accepted. I mean, we were, you know, we were playing the Covent Garden. I think we gave the Chords their first gig, and we played the Covent Garden, Rock Garden, and it was never any. We didn't like the gobbing and the spitting, But apart from that, everything else was all right.
That's right, yeah.
Can you just tell us a bit about how you two met up?
Well, that's an amazing story because I'd been told about Mark, and I didn't want a keyboard player, I didn't want another guitarist, I wanted something slightly different. And I always, as I said to you before, I've always loved the harmonica. And I heard about this guy playing. So I got his number from a friend at school, and I rang him up and I said, oh, I hear you play a bit of harp. He said, yeah, brother. I said, where do you live? He said, South London. I said, oh, great. He said, whereabouts? He said, well, it's a new estate in Tulse Hill. You know, Peabody Estates is up the hill. I said, I live on that Peabody Estate. I said, what number do you live at? And so he told me his number, and I could actually look out my door, and he was down the end of the road. In this, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
So he come straight over, went in my bedroom, and we jammed, and it was instant.
But Mark, at that point, he wasn't a blues
No,
harmonica player,
no,
was he?
no.
And when you listen to Don't Point Your Finger, that is not blues harmonica playing, really. It's something totally new, isn't it?
This
It's
is what
bluesy.
this is his thing. He brought a lot to me that I didn't. Charlie McCoy, who's that? You know, I'd take something to him, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what we were doing. And then that came out in our music because we would, you know, come up with a song, and he'd play his own style of all of his influences on it. But then it would become 9 Below Zero.
And you got the gig at Dingwalls in early '79. That was like a notch up then, wasn't it, on that side?
Yeah, it was a fantastic occasion, the first Dingwalls, but it was a sad occasion, tinged with sadness, because you'd lost your dad the night before, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Or the day, or couple of days before. So at that time, it was in the balance whether we should do it or not. But Dennis insisted that we should do it, and I can remember it being an incredibly emotional night because you were just gone, weren't you? Really, just flying with emotion for his dad, and at the same time, this anticipation of this big break for us.
Yeah. Thanks to Boss Goodman.
Yeah. And
Who sorted the gig for you?
yeah, we sent him a tape, didn't we?
From a gig in the Apples and Pears, a terrible cassette copy of it. You know, someone give us a break on the back of that, you know.
Yeah.
And Paul Jones was in the audience, wasn't he?
Yeah,
That night as well.
and of course that first show at Dingwalls just elevated the whole thing.
Right.
And it just went up to the next level from there.
And the record companies came looking.
We managed to get out the pubs.
Yeah.
Paul Jones, you say, was there. Did that lead to the South Bank show thing?
No, this was before he had the blues band. He was thinking about.
That's right, yeah.
You know,
That's it,
I remember him talking to my mum at the time in the audience, you know, or more or less saying, I think I'll get a blues band together, but there's lots of things happening, you know. And so it was one of those nights, and then the record company started to look, and you know.
So 1979, there's a real buzz beginning to start with
Yeah.
Stan's Blues Band.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
So we
there's
think.
another character who comes along,
Yeah.
who's quite important in the 9 Below Zero story,
Mm.
and that is Mickey Modern.
Yes, it was an artist on A&M Records,
Right.
Yeah,
a band called The Secret.
The Secret, yeah.
How did you first meet him?
We was playing at the Apples and Pears, weren't we?
No, the Beckett.
The Thomas à Becket, sorry.
And he's just taken his
Milk,
daughter to the fun fair
Right.
across from Burgess
That's
Park,
right.
and he popped in for half a pint, and we were playing.
Mm.
Can
And
you sort of describe the guy to us?
Fun-loving. Very, very much a fun-loving guy.
Yeah.
Extremely funny man. Funny. And at the time, he was good for us.
yeah, he taught us a lot. He took us on the road, didn't he? He said, right,
Yeah.
up.
He was never a blues fan,
No.
really,
No,
was he?
not really,
But,
no.
but he was a good motivator, and he was absolutely perfect for the band at the time.
Yeah.
And he brought a lot of youth to the band, and he kept Dennis animated, which was the main thing at the time.
Yeah.
And
Got us to deal with A&M Records.
got us to deal with A&M Records. We went to Vineyard, recorded an EP.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
right, yeah. They initially wanted to just press a couple of thousand up, was that
That's right, yeah.
And to our amazement, someone picked it up on Radio 1.
Yeah.
Was it Radio 1 in
Yes,
those
it was,
days?
yeah.
And incredibly enough, it got a record of the week with Dave Lee Travis, was it? Or Paul?
One of those guys, yeah.
One of the guys
Yeah,
at that old
yeah.
school.
So,
And it was getting 5 or 6
Yeah,
plays a day. And
it's
we was,
unbelievable.
the thing is, at the time, we were still in day jobs.
what were you doing?
I was a telecoms engineer at the time.
Right. And Dennis, yourself, what were you doing?
Carpet fitter. Did you have to mention that? Yes, you did.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
most bands
absolutely. Come from some sort of start
So-
in the
It's
background,
being
yeah.
played 5 or 6 times a day, and you're thinking this might be the time to give up the day job.
Well,
He wouldn't.
what happened
I
is that
would.
we got an agency to book us out a tour, and it was okay when we were doing places like St Albans or that, but then of course we had to go to Norwich, Yarmouth and that, and of course we were doing that, getting back and then having to get up in the morning, and it became impossible to do, didn't it?
Yeah.
And we just had to make a decision, you either go with it, and the guy that was head of A&M at the time, Derek Green, just took us up there for a meeting one day and he said, you know, you had the choice, you've got a career here or...
So we bought a van, we bought a PA, became self-sufficient.
Yeah.
When did the name change?
Yeah, obviously that Stan's Blues I think was a bit, you know, of a non, because we didn't think, we never a clue we were going to make a living or a career out of it. And this is where we argue about this one. We don't quite know, or we've forgotten. I thought it was me bringing a record, but Mark says it's him. But anyway, we love this track called 9 Below Zero by Muddy Waters, like Mr. Kelly's, you know. And we just thought we'd do what the Rolling Stones did and choose a name associated with what we love. And so we picked Sonny Boy Williamson's 9 Below Zero. But we...
What's
Yeah.
Mark's version of it?
Well, it was definitely my name. It doesn't matter really,
No,
does
it
it?
doesn't.
But it was, yeah, it's an old Sonny Boy song, and it seemed to fit at the time, and I think it works. I think it's a good name.
Oh, it's got longevity.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's, and it had that number 9 in it, which, you know, the artists at A&M picked up on.
So you say you weren't actually thinking in terms of it being a full-time thing, that
No,
this success
no,
almost
not-
took you by surprise?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, we just left school, just started doing like silly jobs, you know, we didn't have a clue. I mean, but we passionately loved it. You know, we were definitely into it.
And then we're talking about late 1979,
That's right.
early 80s.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
And then suddenly it's a whole different deal.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got a first album on...
Well, we wanted to make the album, the marquee, like the Yardbirds did 5 Live, you know, and John Mayer, I think, did one at Klutz Cleek, but we wanted the feeling of our first album to be like, you know, the sort of people that we admired, and we thought the Marquee Club, the club of the world, and now it's a restaurant, typical.
Yeah.
And
So you kind of had a residency there, didn't you?
we did.
Yeah.
We had a residency there, yeah.
So you were playing to your home ground.
Oh yeah, it was all a build-up, you know, and then we chose 2 nights to record, I think, wasn't it? In the studio, you piped through to the back, where many great albums have been made, you know, and there was your 24-track studio, so it was just perfect.
The other thing is, when did you start writing your own material?
Well, we were forced to, really.
Just after that album.
Yeah.
You would have preferred to keep on looking back to the classics and the covers?
No.
No, I think
No.
we got a £5,000 advance, so we thought we'd better write some songs. I think something like that happened, didn't it? So we
That
were
was don't point your finger.
No, that was I think in the early days. I think we bought the van and the PA with a publishing advance, but we never wrote any songs. So we thought we'd better go and write some songs. So we just got into that, really.
Yeah.
And the next big project, that was...
Yeah,
That's right.
with Glyn Johns,
How did
a
that
legend.
choice of producer come about?
Derek
Derek
Again,
Green.
was
Derek.
another crucial
Yeah,
crossroads in
Obviously,
9 Below Zero,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Glyn's
Yeah.
worked with the Beatles and the Stones and
The Eagles,
and the Eagles
all those
and
guys.
all those, you know, and before that,
Joan Armatrading.
Georgie Fame, you know, he'd done it all, seen it. And like, you know, to get 4 guys like us, like young guys, aggressive, big attitude, get Glyn in, like school teacher type attitude, you know, and he really cracked the whip with us, you know. And we learnt a hell of a lot from him, you know. And
Things were moving very fast though. Within 2 years you'd gone from
Yeah,
playing the pub
that's
to
right,
being at Olympic
yeah.
Studios
And
working
230
with a legendary
gigs, yeah.
producer and stuff.
230 gigs as well that year, which nearly killed us, you know.
Nearly killed you, but also did you a lot of good. You must admit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sure.
We were on a roll, yeah. And as I say, and then we were in Olympic Studios, where the Stones recorded with Glyn Johns, you know, with a great producer.
And were the songs already written by that time? Had you been taking them out on the road?
God, dear, I don't remember how I suppose
remember.
we wrote them in between.
I read somewhere that it was 12 days, which was not a long time in 1980 for an album. So
12
you must have
days, and we
worked hard.
had a curry every night across the road, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And Kenny Jones come along as well and sort of tuned the kit from he was just joined the Who. And
And also
yeah.
Ian Stewart was
Ian
popped in
Stewart popped
occasionally.
in,
didn't
yeah,
he?
Stones keyboard player. But we got the Who tour from Kenny popping his
That's
head in.
right, yeah.
And Glyn said...
Yeah, we was lucky. We had a couple of good
Yeah.
tours from out of that, didn't we? We
Yeah,
did
well, the Kinks
We did the Who tour
and the Kinks.
and the Kinks.
Yeah.
Right.
And we also did the Allman Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
We supported the Allman Brothers
Yeah.
in Manchester,
Yeah.
Right.
which was wonderful as
Yeah,
well. wasn't
very
it?
good,
For
yeah.
us, I mean, a young
Yeah.
London blues band, and
Yeah.
be on stage with the Allman Brothers was.
Mm.
You still did see yourself as blues band, yeah, because the energy level and some of it is very punk blues, isn't
Mm.
it? But you still
Mm.
wanted to see yourself as a blues band?
I suppose we were nothing else but, I think, really. We was just starting to develop our own sound by then,
Right.
by writing your own songs and having Glyn around, you know. And he put us into shape, you know, and again went on tour with the Kinks and the Who. We did learn a lot, you know. We were in the wings all night watching these
Stagecraft,
yeah, oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
and how to
especially
conduct
Ray.
yourself.
Especially Ray.
Ray was a magnificent, you know, I mean, hero, total hero. And
Just by watching him, yeah.
just by watching him talking to, also Ray was born with a mile of where I was born, and we had a lot of influences. There's one of their albums where they've got a picture taken outside my grandmother's house, and stuff like that. And you know, they support the Arsenal, I support Tottenham. Half of their family split between Tottenham and Arsenal, and it's the whole Muswell Hill Tufnell Park thing, which was where I was born.
Right.
So when we were in the middle of France, and he could talk about that with someone who was 10 years, 12 years younger than him, he felt quite relaxed, and we got on great, didn't we?
Yes.
We got on great with him.
And massive exposure, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then, you know, and they liked us around, and we got more work with them, you know, it was good, yeah. And to watch those people and listen to those songs every night was marvellous.
And the product that you were pushing at that point was Don't Point Your Finger,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking back to that album, what are your high points on it? Is it all very, very good to you? Or have you got
I mean,
particular-
well, when you look, 20 years,
Yeah.
20 years was a long time ago. They'd be.
Do you remember when he turned the lights down and made us do Sugar Mama that night? That was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just turned the lights off and I think we did it in one take, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, really, because there's things that I look back on it now and I'll cringe about, and
Yeah.
but the French public now
Oh God, they
seem
love that
to
album.
go for that, and we can't make out if it's
No.
the songs or this
Yeah.
strange cover.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, this
yeah.
almost cartoon-like cover. But
Yeah,
the French
yeah.
public seem to love that
So you're
album,
still getting a lot of requests
and in,
for
and in
stuff.
fact,
Oh,
it's probably my
yeah.
least favourite. But I don't know, they do, don't they? They
Yeah.
love it out there.
Yeah, very strange. Yeah, and it's quite punky and all. They do the French like that attitude, and well, we don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the next thing was a sort of weird project that didn't really come off, wasn't it, with Glyn Johns, where you were recording
We actually-
out in his...
Yeah, we made
country
a third. We
studio.
actually did Third Degree, his request at his house, and it was a little bit. He was too relaxed. He had his house. He had the barn with the studio just built. He'd just done an album of Eric Clapton and all this, and
Yeah.
we did Third Degree, and I wrote a song called Egg on My Face, and I didn't think it was finished. I didn't have a middle eight for it, and I said to him, can I do that again? I want to write a middle eight. Can I have an hour? Just need an hour to go and write a middle eight or something. Just not quite right. And we just had a terrible argument and fallout, which, you know, people do, you know, when you try to do that. And he took me out for a ride in his E-type Jag, and we sorted it out, and I got to write a middle eight, and so it all ended up nice in the end. But they're just, you know, conflicts and battles, and it just didn't feel right, the whole album, did it? And we recorded, you know, what is now most of Third Degree, but Derek, he backed it. He didn't want it.
Oh, I see.
A&M actually turned it down, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it became a demo for us.
Right. And
And-
then there was 11 plus 11
Mm.
out as a single, was that?
Yeah, was that on there? No. They put Why Don't You Try Me Tonight out
That's right, yeah.
as an interim
Yeah,
period of
Yeah.
before we went and done Third Degree, yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think it was Derek's idea eventually to take us on to a younger producer for the third album, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that was Simon Boswell, who was with Livewire, wasn't
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And we eventually hooked up with Simon, and we went to Elton John's studio to record that, didn't we? Up
Yeah,
at
yeah.
up at Chalk Farmway.
Yeah.
And we did that one with Simon.
And that was more enjoyable?
It was a different thing again.
Different,
All
totally
three
different.
albums are so different, you know.
Yeah. Mm.
How would you describe the differences?
Well, the first one is pure atmosphere.
Yeah.
And
The
us
live one.
captured.
And punk blues.
Yeah, no
There's
overdubs.
so much atmosphere on the first album. The second one's
Same,
the first
12
studio
days.
project,
Yeah, 12 days, yeah.
project.
Yeah.
And the third one was lots of studio techniques going on.
That's
when
right,
they're
yeah.
possibly, looking back on it, overproduced.
Right.
Possibly.
Yeah.
You were getting away from your roots and so on.
Well, we were trying to develop and go forward, you know, and we were writing songs and...
And we were still
you know,
young, we didn't really know where
I
we
think
were going.
also, I mean, there's a period of like when Wipe Away You Kiss, you know, we was one spot of getting Top of the Pops, all those sort of things, you know. I remember Mickey going to the phone box, you know, ringing A&M, and we were 76 and not 75. If we got 75, we would have pre-recorded Top of the Pops. But having said all of that, the fact we never did Top of the Pops is also sort of been very, very good to us. You know, we did the Old Grey Whistle Test, we did South Bank Show, we did everything but Top of the Pops, and I think that's been the best thing for us.
And at the South Bank show, you were alongside the Dave Kelly Band and the Feelgood.
Yeah, Blues
The Blues
Band
Band
on
and
one
the Feelgood.
stage, Dr. Feelgood, and then us. So it was the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s at the time.
Yeah.
And that was good. Yeah, it was good fun.
So why did NBZ Mark I grind to a halt?
We were tired, young, moody, aggressive, and someone said, "Oh, split up," and we did. We shouldn't have done, really.
Were you still enjoying the kind of music you were doing, or did it all become just a slog?
I think we'd overworked, hadn't we?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of pressure
Just
on
knackered,
us.
basically.
Basically,
Yeah, and there was a
naked.
lot of pressure on
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure on us. We started arguing amongst ourselves. Dennis and I mostly, to be honest. But it's still the same now, 25 years on. Nothing much has changed there, but we can handle it much better now. We're more mature about it, and we wouldn't necessarily let other people get in between us like we used to.
And it's funny, if we hadn't have done that, we'd have never got together with Jerry and Brendan. And you know, got back together in '91, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. You know.
Now, can you take us to that? Because I've read in certain places that Mark Feltham brought the band together
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
We hadn't spoke for about 7 years, have we? You played on the couple of Truth tracks.
yeah, we'd kind of half fell out, but
Yeah.
but Dennis had formed and had a little bit of success with a band called The Truth, and he'd asked me to guest on a couple of tracks
That's
there.
right.
I
That was the
joined,
first kind
I
of
joined
band, yeah.
Rory Gallagher in 1984.
That's right.
We were in Los Angeles at the time with it was Rory, myself, Jerry and Brendy, and Jerry and Brendy decided to leave Rory because they fancied a change. They were debating what to do, and Rory was going to take a lot of more time off then because he'd become sick. He eventually died later on, as you know, but he was taking more and more time off, and I think they were getting frustrated. So you called me, didn't you? You called me in LA.
Yeah.
And said that there'd been an offer to make.
Yeah. Derek Green again had offered us to.
It was at China Records at the time.
His new album, his new label, China Records. Yeah, they offered us a 2-3 album deal. To you know, if we get 9 Below Zero but back together, we'd be really, really happy. And
the showcase gig was at the Town and Country Club, wasn't
yeah,
it?
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's right,
yeah.
yeah.
We did a couple of
Any
nights there.
memories, strong memories of that? Yeah.
Well, I was really nervous because I think at the time, obviously, Jerry, Brendan and Mark had got this good relationship and had been out with Rory, and I'd been out of the scene. I was with my other band, Truth, doing completely something else. I think when I got back with them, my cabinet was turned around the other way. I was like totally insecure and lost it, you know. And these guys have been out with Rory Gallagher and
Slick as hell.
absolutely on top of it, you know. And there's me coming back, you know. And Mark put it all back together really. And there was a deal there to be done with Derek Green, and we thought, oh, it sounds great. And it was great. And we went in the studio, didn't we? And, I think Jerry or one of us came up with an idea. Let's do On the Road Again by Candy. We said, you can't do that. It's a classic, you can't touch that. We did, we had a go, and we thoroughly enjoyed it.
That was probably the most enjoyable album that we've
Yeah,
ever.
we
Well,
wrote
I mean,
some
they've
songs
gone on to do more albums since
In Your
then
Kitchen,
because
do you remember
the
that
story
as well?
goes on from there. But
Yeah.
that was a nice album to make. We did that down in Ardingly,
Yeah, he was writing the songs in his
It's a
kitchen. And,
lovely record.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Nice record that. Very
And
proud of that one.
did you see a different style of music for NBZ2 compared to 1? Did you want to leave it all that behind and, you know, do what you've been doing for the last...
Well, the thing is, you've got a new rhythm section in there,
Yeah.
and
We'd all grown up a bit.
Yeah, we was all 10 years on, and
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
bit more confident in what we wanted to do.
Yeah, it was natural. It was just a natural progression, really.
Right.
And
then Mark, you left the scene for a while in the mid-90s, is that right?
yeah, unfortunately,
again, we split again. And yeah, I got sick actually.
he got a bit unwell.
I got sick, and I had to stop touring. I just got exhausted. Then took 2 years out, and then came back and started doing session work again.
Right.
And
in the meanwhile, there was Alan.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harmonica.
Yes,
Mm.
yeah, we had
and
Alan.
Billy Boy.
Yeah, we had Billy Boy.
Taking those, seeing it is a harmonica
Yes.
led band.
Yes.
How would you describe the differences between the three harp players?
Well, this guy is number one, and the other two love him and listen to him anyway, so they didn't mind playing his riffs.
Right.
And plus we wrote with Alan and we wrote with Billy new songs, and they got to develop their own sound. But you know, they've always acknowledged that they were following the governor, so there was never any problem like that. And they done very well, because it's a tall order. No one uses the harp. Jay Giles' band did a bit, but you know, nobody uses the harp like we do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tough gig.
Right.
They both done very well.
Mm.
You know.
In the last few months, Billy Boy has left,
Mm.
and Mark, you're...
Well, it's over a year now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
16 months now.
Yeah.
I've been back. Yeah.
We ain't split yet, have we?
No, this is
the
a
fourth one. I said to him the other day, I've known him 25, 26 years, and I think we've been together about 3.
And tonight at Wilbaston, this is like a home stomping ground for you. You've been here lots of times. What's the set list going to be like?
Don't know. We just do what we feel.
Is that
As
always
normal.
the case?
Yeah,
You just get up there.
There's a rough
There's a rough
set list.
set, not set, but the rough format that we'll follow, and then we'll see what the people fancy, and
Right.
you know, and how should we, you know, go left, go right, or slow, fast, you know. You know, it will tell its story, you know.
Mm.
It
And
does.
tomorrow you're in the studio beginning work on your new album?
Yeah, we're going to go. In,
Yeah, we're doing it down in Hampshire,
Hampshire.
a Steve Smith studio called, I can't remember.
Room with a View.
Room
Yeah.
with a View.
Yeah,
Ringwood.
we're going to do an
It's a nice
unplugged
studio.
album. Yeah, we're going to do an
Ask you
unplugged
about
album.
that,
Yeah.
'cause some of your gigs now are unplugged
Well,
gigs.
someone asked us, would you do an unplugged show? And we went, what? How are we going to do that? You know, never entered our mind. We did it at Cambridge in a big marquee. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So now we've got a repertoire. We're doing some of the old songs, sort of reinventing them. I think Chris Rea come up with a great thing, New Light Through Old Windows or something. You know, the way we're sort of readjusting the old stuff. That's nice. And we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Dennis the Menace Greaves, Mark Feltham. Have a great gig tonight.
Thank you very much, Jet.
Thank you. Thank you.